We've got Kristen Fisher standing by at the White House on these breaking details. All right, Kristen, what do we know so far?
Well, Laura, this is a story that was CNN broke the story about an hour ago, and officials just confirmed it to Fox. And here's what we know. A man wearing a backpack jumped the fence over on the south side of the White House. This is the north side, so the south side is the side over by the National Mall, over by the Washington Monument. So a man with a backpack jumped the fence and then made his way all the way to the south portico entrance of the White House. Now, if you've ever seen President Trump board Marine One, the helicopter, that's the entrance that he uses to board Marine One. It's also the entrance that's right by the White House residence, which, according to CNN, is where President Trump was when this happened, and it happened shortly before midnight last night. Now, these officials say that President Trump in no way was in any immediate danger, but at some point, this intruder and President Trump were probably only a few hundred yards apart. So the Secret Service was able to arrest this man. We don't know his name yet. As for that backpack, right? So officials say that they weren't able to find anything dangerous or hazardous inside that backpack. They did search and screen it, and then they searched the entire grounds here at the White House, but so far found nothing. So this raises a lot of questions, right? Was this just somebody who, this is their idea of a good time, seeing if they can breach the fence at the White House and see how close they can get to President Trump? Or is this something a lot more serious? Were there other people potentially involved, or was this perhaps a dry run for another attempt to potentially harm President Trump? So some very serious questions that Secret Service, White House officials, and a lot of other folks trying to answer here. Leland and Laura, I can tell you, though, I got to the White House at about 10 this morning, so about 10 hours after the incident took place, and there was zero signs that anything had happened. By all appearances, it looks to be business as usual, but anytime you have an intruder getting this close to the president, it is not business as usual. Laura and Leland.
And Kristen, I mean, that is a good clip to get over the fence and across that lawn. You know, I think that everybody would like to think that there are Secret Service. Obviously, we know that they're there, but maybe perhaps not right at that position where that guy got over the fence. What can you tell us about the personnel that's usually on the grounds as we look at this map, and you can see the overhead looking at how far that person did get? You know, obviously, they were a pretty good runner.
Well, a pretty good runner, or perhaps they were moving at a more stealthy pace. You know, I mean, we don't know exactly how long this person had been on the White House grounds. Was it a quick jump over the fence, run to the south portico entrance, or was it, you know, something a bit more stealthy than that? We just don't know. Now, we do know, you know, this is not the first time that there have been fence jumpers here at the White House. I believe back in 2014, somebody made it very close to President Obama. So it does happen. Since that incident, the Secret Service has been undergoing some internal reviews into how they handle these kinds of matters. But again, for an intruder wearing a backpack to get this close to not just the White House, but the actual residence where President Trump sleeps at night, it is a very big deal. Laura?
Yeah, it was back in 2014, Kristen, that it was Omar Gonzalez, you might remember that name, who jumped the fence, ran up and walked through the front door of the White House. The front door wasn't locked. We're told that these days the front door is locked. Kristen, you touched on the very important point that when you showed up this morning, there was no evidence of any kind of, shall we say, greater security around things. As you've talked to the Secret Service agents as you've walked in, have you gotten a sense over the past month or so how they're feeling about the situation? 50 days into the new administration, we remember in the very beginning parts of this administration, they had their riot gear out inside some of the guard shacks because they were worried about the protests. Has that subsided a little bit? Do you get the sense that things are a little bit more back to normal in a general sense rather than specific to today?
Well, all I can say is that I didn't notice anything different when I came through the White House, the North Gate at the White House here today. I actually made some good morning jokes with the Secret Service agents that were there. And the one thing that is different, though, about this White House right now is there's still a lot of the barricades and the perimeter that was set up for the inauguration, for the parade and all that. Usually that comes down pretty quickly, but they've left it up a little bit longer than usual. So it actually feels as though the security presence here is more intense right now than it was back during the Obama administration. But again, from being here just last week before the intruder to being here this morning, you would not be able to tell that anything had happened.
Yeah, things go back to normal pretty quickly. And we also know they're still working on exactly how they're going to reinforce the fence. They've put in more spikes on top of the fence, some anti-climb measures. They're talking about raising it as well. Kristen Fisher, keep working your sources at the White House. See what you can get from the Secret Service, as talkative as they are sometimes. And we'll get back to you in a minute. Thank you.